So now Antoine, that makes sense.
Continue.
Antoine is now committed to the JBP. The JBP is committed to Antoine. Joe is risking millions of dollars. Antoine is risking thousands of dollars. But your millions and my thousands, they might have the same equitable stake in our lives. You might risk losing millions of dollars if Antoine just came in here one day and said, yo, I quit. Antoine is risking losing thousands of dollars if I walked in here one day and Joe said, you're fired. My thousands of dollars pay my mortgage. The same way your millions pay your mortgage. It's the same thing. It's not one person weighing heavier than the other. Your life is not more important than my life, and my life is not more important than your life. So some reciprocity has to be seen on both ends. Does that sound crazy to you guys?
I'm not saying a word.
It don't sound crazy.
Does that sound crazy to you? Young boys in the back, Alex. Fuck everybody else. Does that sound crazy to you?
I heard your brother sound good.
Mr. Newton.
Yeah.
That sounds crazy to you? There you go. So that's our holdup. Our holdup is, no, nigga, you can't fire me whenever you want because now I'm asked out because I've modified my business to come here. So now I would have to rebuild my whole entire business, get my client base back, and build. I've laid off employees because I don't have sufficient work to feed them because I'm not taking the same amount of jobs.
Is it Joe's go?
Not yet. I'm not taking the same amount of jobs or the same level of job.
Hey, yo, I want chocolate chips in my shit, too.
Hey, Corey can attest to this.
I want chocolate chips in my muffin, Joe.
Corey can attest to this. I did 2 buildings down the street.
Yeah.
On this very block. It took me 2 years to finish that job. I could not take that job today working here. If somebody came to me and said, yo, I got a high 6-figure job for you to take, I can't take that job. I would have to pass it up for here. So now I need some sort of stability factor implemented into my contract.
Sure.
That makes sense.
Yes, it does.
I get. If the other side of the contract says, if the other side of the contract says, I can clip you whenever I want, and that's just that, then yeah, I would need that same thing on the other side. I kind of agree with that.
That's only based on. That's based on what you're saying. The uniqueness that he changes.
Get a mic, Corey. Who's he?
Joe, he doesn't abide by standard contracts. But you know, in a regular job, you can fire your fucking people whenever you want to if they don't do.
And they can quit whenever they want with no recourse.
Yeah,
in corporate America, when you go get a job, nigga, if I work for Goldman Sachs, I could come in there and say, yo, here's my 2 weeks notice. And Goldman Sachs can tell me, yo, here's your 2 weeks notice. You're gone.
And the 2 week notice is just a courtesy.
That's a courtesy.
That's
a professional
courtesy.
That's just a courtesy. I could literally go to Goldman Sachs and say, yo, I'm quitting right now. I'm just cleaning out my locker and I'm gone. And I don't owe them shit. Who? No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
Where?
Here.
You can't even send that contract. You can't.
Stop it. And that's where his argument, part of where his argument falls flat. Issues hasn't signed anything. You either can agree to terms or not agree to terms. And if he agreed to terms and wanted to quit, he can quit. He has that right that the company does not have. Once this contract is signed, the company has to respect and oblige to the contract by law.
So does he.
So do I.
False. There is no recourse if in the middle of that contract, Ish quits.
That's not true, Joe.
That is true.
How?
What is the recourse?
Joe Budden can sue Antoine.
Stop it.
I'm not done. You asked me a question.
That's recourse.
That's recourse. Joe can go sue Antoine and say, yo, as a result of him...
You're saying it's recourse, but you naming a bill for me.
I would love to speak.
I'm responding. You're naming a bill. You naming expenses and liabilities.
True. You have the right. That don't mean nothing. Whether it behooves you or not, you have the ability and the right to say, yo, he broke his contract. I suffered punitive damages as a result of him doing so, and I want to seek these damages. Yes, you can.
That option is there.
You have an option to do that.
And you're protected by the contract.
Ish. Stop it, yo.
You don't have to
stop.
Tell me what I'm saying is wrong.
Number one,
I'm asking you to tell me if one thing I said was wrong.
Well, who's doing that?
Nobody. Hopefully, nobody.
What companies are doing that or have done that?
Mad companies.
Tell me them.
I don't know them.
I know a lot of companies that have reached settlements in this department, but nobody wants to put time, money, resources aside
See, my only question to that-
to go to war
Whoa,
with
whoa,
somebody
whoa, whoa, whoa.
who just decided to quit. Stop. Let's be situational, because your example started being situational with he structures contracts uniquely.
Who's
Well,
he?
me. If we're being situational, we're friends. Am I taking Ish to court for his house money if he don't want a pod anymore? Let's be realistic here.
Okay,
Answer my question.
probably not. But let me ask a question.
We just seen this. Stop. We just seen this with
Let 'em
two
talk,
niggas
Joe.
that I should have took to court. We just seen this with two niggas that I should have and had every right to go to court. Like, let's be realistic in this. To that you say.
My point is, if that's the case, then leave it out the contract. Then
Leave what out the contract?
that one part, the one.
Then you leave the stipulation
yeah,
out the
if
contract.
it don't matter like
if
that, then
it
you
don't
leave it out.
matter, leave it out.
No, because it matters. It's for you to adhere to. It does matter. It don't matter in is Joe going to sue Ish or not, but it does matter. The person that's paying me,
Joe.
him, if it's a number that he agrees to,
Right. You want some
yeah, that
guarantees?
person is to be protected, so their money is not just fucked.
But he's paying something too. That's
Stop
what he's
it.
saying.
That's true. No, you're
And that's what
Your
the
point is
people
right.
from the other position get in rooms with attorneys and figure out ways to argue. I'm not trying to invalidate his argument, but it's two different things that you're arguing. Also, why Ish's point falls flat on what his attorney is saying is because that was twofold. Before we got to, hey, he need the ability to quit whenever he want, it was, hey, get rid of that shit that says he can't go start another podcast and have the ability to quit. Those were the two final points. Wait, let me talk. You interrupting again. Those were the two final points in that contract combined.
Could we address
Now,
Could we
no,
address the
you
first
still
one?
interrupting.
I want to address
But
the
you
first
still
one.
interrupting.
You pivoted.
I'm not pivoting.
You are. Go ahead, though.
I'm preparing my argument the way I prepare it. What you think, I have something else in the tuck? Can I finish?
We still on point.
Now you play Joe.
Me?
You played, never you.
Why not me?
Because I'm talking to ICE and we're doing the lawyer thing. I'm talking to ICE and Parks and Corey and Young Boys in the back. Y'all play Joe.
Okay.
It's y'all company and you just went through whatever you just went through with whatever you just went through. And now your two final red lines with your new host is I need the ability to go do a podcast about whatever I want, no matter when I leave this podcast, and I need the ability to leave this podcast whenever I want.
That's not what happened.
You are interrupting me. ICE, Parks, and Young Boys in the back, please tell me how you respond.
With that information right there, I say fuck out of here.
Absolutely.
1000%.
As would I.
Fuck out of here.
That's not what's taking place, though. That is your description of what is taking place. And again, you pivoted.
It's the description of the guy that has said yes to everything.
That's not true, though. I didn't ask for nothing.
That's not true.
Yo, dog. He's wrong. First
That's
of all,
not.
I want to stay.
That's not true.
Listen to what the points I want to stay on.
The money you make now is the money you was gonna make if you signed this contract. So you asked for something,
No, y'all offered something.
and it stated that offer, or did you ask for something?
Did you counter offer the offer?
Of course he did.
Yeah, I did.
All right, so yeah.
So you asked for something.
Keep going.
Keep going. What? That was my final point.
No, you said I'm the guy that said yes to everything. You making it seem as if
I
you're
said
so-
yes to that too.
No,
Yes.
So look,
There were two final points that we said no to, which is you cannot go start a podcast about whatever you want whenever you leave this podcast.
And I would never-
And no, you can't just up and quit and go do that. You cannot do those two things.
He's combining the two.
Those two things make sense.
They do.
That is
No,
well
one of the-
within the right of the fucking company.
One of them makes sense.
The podcast one we don't have to debate.
That we don't have to debate the podcast one, and that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to sway the argument by bringing in some other information. Stay on point one, which is if you want the ability to fire me at will, I need the ability to quit at will because we both have the same vested stake and interest in both being employed.
But I responded
makes
to
sense.
that by saying you have the ability to quit
So
at will.
tell your lawyer to put it in the contract, and we won't even be having this conversation.
Hell no. Are you fucking shitting me?
What are you saying?
I might as well fire the lawyer.
Hey, yo, dog,
You might as well
please.
not have a lawyer.
Dog, please tell me that y'all.
You might as well not have a lawyer.
I don't understand
So
what y'all
don't
are
come on
saying.
the podcast and say you have the ability if you're not willing to put it in writing in a contract.
But you
What
do
are you
have
talking about?
But even if that's in the contract, that don't change your ability to do it. Why are you saying that?
Yes, it does.
How?
I guess that's why I'm lost at.
It don't what?
You saying that you
y'all
won't
gotta
enforce
stop, yo.
the contract.